So, ang isa pa po is yung sa, although meron po kaming income threshold na 400,000, hindi rin naman po namin inilimit lang doon yung basis sa income. In case po na ang income ng isang aplikante ay nag-exceed sa 400,000, meron pong kinukonsider doon kung ilan po yung nag-aaral na magkakapatid. Isa rin po is yung kung meron pong may sakit sa pamilya. So, to support po yung kanilang application, ang hinihingi po natin sa kanila is yung social case study, ini-issue po ng social welfare. Yun lang. That's all, Mr. Chair.
How does TESDA define deserving students?
CHED po.
Sorry,
Deserving students po, meron ang hinihingi po nating grade requirement po sa kanila is yung 93% above. Sa selection criteria po, ang academic requirement is 70%, then yung academic requirement is 30%, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. And how many beneficiaries do you have?
For 2024, 2025, we have 13,000 beneficiaries, Mr. Chair. That includes the ongoing and new beneficiaries po.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
Thank you po.
I'll go back to the COA report. And it was mentioned earlier there are ghost students, no? And how do you define Ma'am Imelda, ghost students?
Actually, sir, this is ghost students refer to those which were named twice or more in the billing statement because of the difference in the names. Although, parang example po is ganito, there are twins, although medyo gray area din yung ano na yun, merong 41 identified twins having the same, of course, the same surname, and they have the same name except that they have different suffix name. Kunyari po, Jenny. And then the first one is Maria Jenny, and the second one is Marie Jenny. So this is counted as one student, I think. Kaya parang yung isa nagiging ghost. Ganoon po yung upon analysis of the findings. Kaya hindi talaga siya actually ghost student. However,
you mean one name used twice or
Yes,
more
sir.
than twice
Yes, sir.
in different schools?
maybe in the same school,
Maybe in
or
the same
there are instances that they are enrolled in different schools.
Instances of ghost students have you detected?
Per audit findings, there are may I just read, sir? An initial of 115 senior high school VP beneficiaries from school years 2016 and 2017 were considered ghost students since they were billed by senior high school voucher program participating school more than once in the same school year.
Di ba ang DepEd, they use LIS
Yes, sir.
they assign LIS to to students, no? Sorry, LRN pala, LRN to a student so that it's a unique number per student. So natingnan nyo yun, LRN? Did you look at that? Maybe they're the same name, but
I think the audit team then had looked into that, and at the same time, the PAO, the performance audit team also had the same findings on that, sir.
and when you conducted your audit/investigation, you found out indeed that these two names is only one person.
Yes, sir.
And
So-
they have two different LRNs.
Yes, sir. So
How is that possible?
They were required to refund the amount, but again, it is.
Was there any admission that from the school that these are indeed the same person?
Okay, sir. The DepEd PAYAC had investigated, actually, had also investigated this instance because of the findings from
Yeah.
the COA and then the PAO. So, DepEd Order number 20, the series of 2017 defined ghost students who are okay, ghost students refer to the following. Significant number of absent ESC grantees during a monitoring visit. Whose absence cannot be satisfactorily explained by the school officials. Letter B, ESC grantees billed under a specific school unit delivery made but attended classes in different school or campuses. And letter C, ESC grantees listed as enrolled but have not attended classes since the start of the semester. And letter D, ESC grantees listed and billed multiple times in the same school or in different ESC participating junior high school. So this is the definition of ghost student.
Different categories
Yes,
of a
sir.
ghost student. But there are, I guess there are, the way you explain it, there are, sometimes they transfer or sometimes they move around.
Yes, sir.
And that's a legitimate reason for them to, I mean, movement and mobility is a legitimate reason. So they're not considered ghost students.
Actually, sir, in my opinion, sir, they are not good students, but
Okay.
rather there is an error in the monitoring or in the listing of the beneficiaries.
But the mere fact there are refunds, then they are ghost students. Diba? I mean, you want refund if you think it's. I mean, if you admit to a refund, then that means you admit that there is something wrong. Whether it's a ghost student or an clerical error or administrative error, then there's something wrong. No?
Okay, sir.
But I want to detect, kasi I'm trying to find out whether there's intentional, there is intention to defraud government. That's what I'm trying to elicit from COA based on your analysis. Is there an intention or baka honest error to or movement? But is there deliberate effort to defraud government?
At this point in time, sir, I cannot speak for the findings of the previous audit team, but as I have said before, moving forward, we're going to look into that. We're going to audit, perform the same audit kasi this was performed in 2016 and 2018. So, considering the lapse of time, parang napabayaan yata yung period na yon na walang audit on that. So, kailangan po naming ma-determine ulit. And then, by that, through our audit, we can render an opinion whether or not there is an intentional an intention to commit or to defraud the government. But, yeah, yun po yung magiging an objective ng audit namin ngayon.
I'll just show a few things. No, this is a report that came from PAYAC, and this is apparently the list of schools that are. For termination and terminated. No? And I was just looking at the amounts. No? For example, ito St. Joseph School of Candaba, 80 million to be refunded. Ang laki nito 80 million. And then there's another one. I just went through this randomly. There's no intention to cherry pick. San Jose Academy of Bulacan, 68 million. Then Electron College of Technical Education, 14 million. So my question is, paano umabot ng ganito kalaki, 68 million? No? How did it reach this big? No, because if it's one transfer, maybe administrative error, I would assume this is just, it will run into hundreds. Pero we're talking about 80 million, 68 million, 14 million. And then I saw also in a PAYAC report that we're still expecting, I'll flash on the screen, 239 million pesos to be refunded. No? This is another report that we got from PAYAC. My question is, paano umabot ng 239 million there? 239 million ang i-refund from the voucher program. And then one school can rack up to 80 million in terms of refund. How do we, what is the, ano ito, naipon or the magnitude of students? Let's take an example of St. Joseph School of Candaba. Random to, I'm not picking schools. Can you give us the reason why they have to refund 80 million pesos? This, I'm trying to relate this to the ghost students. Baka there is really an intention to defraud government, meaning they put different students, the same name, or maybe some of them are non-existing students. I don't know. No, I don't know. But let's use this St. Joseph School of Candaba as an example. Why do they have to refund 80 million pesos? Yeah, Mr. Malonzo, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Just checking the data that we have for the school.
Meron pa dito isa, Mary Queen College of Science and Technology, 82 million pesos. You see my point? If it's just administrative error, clerical error, then I would accept maybe 100,000, 200,000, but we're talking about 82 million. Go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you again. For St. Joseph of Candaba, this was a actual monitoring visit to the school, where we required the school to present documents of the existence of the VPBs that they build. So we specifically ask for the class records of the VPBs, the school form 1, which is a DepEd required school form, DepEd school form 2, and their birth certificates. Now, unfortunately, for majority or for a big portion of their VPBs, they weren't able to present on any documents during the visit, during the monitoring activity. So that's the reason.
In other words, they're billing the government, but they cannot present documents to prove the existence of those students.
Yes.
So those are, can I call them literally ghost students?
Right now, we call them kasi undocumented VPBs.
How many of those for the Candaba, St. Joseph School of Candaba? How many undocumented students are we talking about?
It's around 3,800, more or less.
3,800.
I'll check again. It's at 4,600 currently.
So in other words, they cannot submit any documents on these 4,600 students?
During the visit, they weren't able to substantiate the existence of the VPBs because they failed to present the documents that were required during the visit.
And what are the documents that are required?
Again, it's the class record.
Class
which
record.
includes yung attendance of the VPBs.
Okay.
Isa yun. The school form 1, which is the list, enrollment list that they submit to DepEd. And then school form 2, which is a report also that is submitted to DepEd as well. So those are the three documents that were checked during the monitoring activity.
And then they agreed to refund that 80 million?
Right now, the case is ongoing.
Okay.
They've indicated that they plan to submit documents to us, but we haven't received it yet, no, the complete documents. But that's the current status of the school right now.
Okay. Coco Pea, do you have any information regarding this? If you want to join in and enlighten us on these schools that I mentioned earlier, feel free, no? Because 4,600 undocumented students is quite big, no? Just to give you an idea, the biggest school in Valenzuela is 4,000 students. So one school yun. Hindi naman pwede nawawala yung 4,000 students, di ba? Unless there's, again, I guess it's really a deliberate effort talaga. No? But maybe Attorney Manawag can enlighten us on this.
Yes,
if you know
Mr.
this case.
In addition to what Peak mentioned, aside from requiring these schools po, no, to comply with the documentary requirements, based on our experience, yung mga ganitong schools po will also simultaneously receive demands for refund. So the efforts are simultaneous, Mr. Chair, to ensure that the school will refund, or if they do not, if they really want to retain their billings, they have to comply with PAYAC documentary requirements. They basically need to substantiate or justify that these students are actually enrolled and actually attending and are actual beneficiaries of the voucher. So simultaneous to that, Mr. Chair, demand letters or demand to refund are sent to these kinds of schools, Mr. Chair.
Process ba, so they submit billing and then DepEd immediately pays the amount? So there's no validation first as to, let's say, these 4,000 students are really in existence. What is the process right now? So I know by billing yan eh. Pag billing ba, immediately pay?
Before po, Senator Win, I think that was the process, the procedure, because we understand that the billing statement goes through the PAYAC Regional Secretariat and the DepEd Regional Office. So when it goes to the PAYAC National Secretariat as well, it's being endorsed right before the DepEd Central Office receives it. So when the DepEd Central Office receives it, I think before, the procedure was they will already pay it, and then PAYAC on the other hand will just have a post billing monitoring. But during the time that gas was created, Senator Win, for this year 2023-2024, before we paid, that's what I said, that we provided another layer in the central office, that before we pay, we actually check it or cross-check it with our learners information system. And in fact, right now, not all billings of private schools were paid, because we found out that there's discrepancy. That's why we hold po yung payment nila. Only those billing statements which are in sync with our learners information system, that's the only payment that we released. The rest po, we hold it in the central office, and that is only what we did when gas was created.
Can the learner reference number be tampered? Who creates the learner reference number?
Not my forte, but planning, perhaps.
Kasi
Can
the
I
theory
ask?
here, parang national ID yan. One student, one learner reference number. And the LRN cannot be theoretically cannot be tampered. So that if the student moves from one grade level to the other, you can follow him or her.
Senator, can I ask Mr. Ariel?
Yes, go ahead,
He's from
go ahead.
our
Yeah,
planning.
yeah.
Dito ka naman, okay lang.
Because aside from the non-poor, aside from the non-decongestion, we're now talking about another leakage, which is ghost students. No? And correct me if I'm wrong, if you add all of those, it's close to 19,000 students, undocumented students, tama?
More or less po.
So about 19,000 undocumented students. So the undocumented can be literally no student. Can be possible. We don't know. No? So that's why I want to go to the basics. Can the learner reference number be tampered?
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. Yung creation po ng ating mga LRNs po ay through the school advisor, sir. So may account po lahat ng advisor po sa public school, but for the private school, they have the registrar po who create the LRN of the learners. But as to the tampering po, sir, hindi po kasi automatic po siya na create sa system natin ng LIS, but they can create as many as they can based po dun sa documents or na meron sila or number of learners na meron sila, sir.
So I noticed kasi that there are, since the voucher system was created, there are a lot of senior high school institutions right now. No? We were doing some research. There are now schools that are just senior high school, TechVoc, senior high school, maybe a little college, pero wala siyang junior high school, wala siyang other grade levels, just senior high school lang siya. And I also noticed, I'll show you some ads later on, the way they market, talagang aggressive marketing. I'll show you one, yung Electron College or Electron School. No top-up, libre bag, libre uniform, libre ID, libre halos lahat libre na eh, no? I saw it's really an aggressive marketing strategy, which is fine, no? But I see a lot of this type of schools, no? Na senior high school lang and some tech-voc. Now, my question is, can schools like this create their own LRN?
No, sir. Actually, ang LRN po is a 12-digit number. The first 6 digit is the school ID. Ibig sabihin, so, sir, pag may school ID sila, ibig sabihin, may permit or acknowledge po ng DepEd, the first 6 digits, while that 7 and 8, yun po yung school year kung kailan siya kinreate. And then the 4 digits po yun yung automatically po na makikreate na po yung
Pagpasok ng student sa mga senior high school schools, can they create LRNs?
Usually, sir, dapat meron na po kasi...
Tama, dapat meron na, di ba?
Yes, sir. Kasi kung nag-start po tayo ng LIS noong 2011, sir, lahat po yun ay dapat kung mag-senior high school sila, automatic from the junior high school.
Correct.
Meron na, sir.
So theoretically, they come from junior high school, so dapat dala-dala nila yung LRN. But can they create? Can a school create?
No, sir. They can create, sir, if
Junior
you-
high school, senior high school,
Sa
Can they
ngay-
create?
Sa ngayon, sir, dapat hindi na. Before, sir, nung nag-start pa lang, dahil possible yung learner ay balik-aral, returnee students po siya, at tapos matagal siyang nawala sa basic ed, possible po yun. But,
So if I'm a senior high school, I can create, may mga students, 4,000 came to me to enroll, I can create my own LRN?
sir, it should be, pag bago po kayo, sir, na school, it should be approved by the division planning officer. Kasi
Okay lang. I went through the process. Sabi nga ni Attorney Erap, may permit ako, everything, kompleto document ko. But
Yes.
can I create my own LRN?
you can create, but it should be approved by the division planning officer. Kasi nga, ang ano natin, sir, ang proseso natin is, the student, meron na dapat siyang LRN nung junior high school tsaka nung elementary siya. Pero pag bago po kayo or talagang newly students po ay talagang it should be approved by the division planning officer kasi we need to check also doon sa birth certificate kung bakit ngayon lang rin siya nagkaroon ng LRN. So yun mabe-verify po natin doon, sir. So hindi po talaga basta-basta pwedeng makapag-create ang isang eskwelahan, sir.
So, but going back to this St. Joseph School of Candaba, yung mga student niya walang LRN.
Sir, tinitignan rin po namin dun sa database namin. Actually, ang learners po nila is 6,000 plus
Okay.
learners. And
The 4,000,
that came from the LIS, sir.
okay.
So, yun meron, sir. But yung sinabi po ni Sir Roderick, we can verify po yung by the list of the LRNs to the students po na for investigation po.
Oo. Yeah, go ahead.
If,
I'm doing this as a case study. I'm not
yes,
cherry picking.
Senator, when the school build their VPBs, they have LRNs. Kasi that's one of the requirements before they get encoded in our system. That they have to have an LRN, and that the learner reference number and and the name of the VPB matches there is a match in the LIS. So, yun yung isang checking na ginagawa ng system natin ngayon. So, apparently, it passed the checking, and that's the reason why the school was able to build. But right now, no, we are also improving the interface between the LIS and the VMS, the system that we're using, to also include other data elements to validate these learners if they're really enrolled in the school.
Since government has already paid this
Yes,
amount, what is the ratio of refund to the
Yes.
amount that you demanded? Do we get everything? Sige, I'll rephrase it. How much is the expected refund amount? 239? Tama ba? I flashed earlier. To date, government is expecting 239 million as refund. Tama? Only for voucher program, ah?
For those who were terminated and for recommended for termination, it's at 363 million.
363 million. We're expecting that refund. Okay. And based on your experience, what is the refund amount? Do we get the entire amount of refund?
There are schools that were able to provide documents for some of their VPBs, pero meron din talagang wala. So for example,
Like which school?
For example, the data we have on it's Asian Institute of Technology. The initial findings is 316. It went down to 198. So the amount of refunds is lowered, and the school was already able to submit their refund for the 4.1 million.
So how much is their? I don't have that in my list. How much are they supposed to? How many students are undocumented?
During the monitoring activity, it was 316, but when they're able to submit their documents for 128, so it went down from 316 to 198, and the amount of refund is at 4.4 million.
Okay. And they refunded the amount?
Yes, they're able.
And what's the reason how come they are undocumented? What's the reason? 316 students are undocumented. What's the reason? I mean, when you enroll, obviously the documents should be ready already. So how come there are cases of undocumented students?
The reasons are, some of them were not qualified to participate in the program. because some of these grantees were billed as public grade and completers, but upon review, they are ALS. So those are the reasons. Majority, yes. Majority of the VPBs with findings.
Okay.
Unqualified voucher program beneficiaries.
Unqualified voucher, okay. Well, this is where the efficiency should come in. And I mentioned that earlier. That's why we're, of course, we're contracting. Government is subcontracting to a service provider all of these administrative requirements. And it's important also that we are not paying schools who are giving us unqualified beneficiaries, more so ghost beneficiaries. It's hard to get refunds, definitely, from all angles, whether you're in government or in private sector. Once you issue the check, the likelihood of getting a refund is very, very difficult. That's why this system should be looked at again, no? Attorney Tara. I know the intention of paying immediately so that our schools will be repaid, but we need to come up with a system, a balanced system where schools will be paid immediately, but students will be validated immediately as well. Because we're detecting, right, from based on our information, we're detecting double names, we're detecting probably non-existent beneficiaries or probably, and also unqualified beneficiaries. So it's a balancing act. I know that the schools need to operate as well, and there are a lot of legitimate schools. There are also a lot of honest schools, probably more, and we need to pay them immediately so they can operate. But there are also schools that are, I don't know if they're cutting corners or they're, I'm not really sure. Based on your investigation, is there a deliberate attempt to submit fraudulent documents? Because in the COA report, they also recommended to conduct further investigation. Tama ba, COA? No? So that means we have to go to the, in short, what they want us to go to the bottom of this issue. Is there a willful attempt to submit fraudulent documents and fraudulent beneficiaries?
Yep.
Yeah, no, conduct further investigation on the lapses. So meaning go deeper into this. No? Based on your observation, meron ba?
We've received
Or honest lang na mali yung document na sinuwi? Yung 316, mali lang talaga yung sinubmit nilang document.
We've received anecdotal reports coming from the field that there are schools that are trying to game the voucher program. But
I've
these are
also received that
anecdotal.
reports also.
What with regards to whether the school is kung sa Java or hindi, no, I think for some schools that have less than 10 or 1 out of 100 VPBs, I think this may be a mistake, an honest mistake from the school. But when the numbers reached hundreds, this is really a significant issue.
Because I'm seeing a trend, and this I got this feedback from my, in Valenzuela, our private schools are organized, no? So I get feedback from them. I see a trend that some entrepreneur or very enterprising people will put up a school, get as many vouchers as possible, no? Because the vouchers, in effect, is a guaranteed income for them. No? So get as many as vouchers as possible by attracting as many students as possible. No? And in that process of attracting students, the students might be legitimate or might not be legitimate. Ang important is I get the voucher because that's income. No? And of course, you subtract expenses, you get some profit out of it. That's fine. No? But the problem is, like you said, they're gaming the system. Because in the process of attracting students, basta padamihan na lang, volume eh. And sabi nga ni Sister Bernardo, there's no quality element here. It's a volume game. Padamihan nito, padamihan ng padamihan. No? And every year, there's a, let's show the graph for the the voucher. Every year, the voucher allocation is also increasing. No? It's also increasing. Where's the... So anyways, so they're fixated in getting as many students as in as possible, and fixated in getting as many vouchers as possible, regardless of the quality. Wala na silang ano kung quality. No? So that's why I also I support the here no, the voucher. That's why I also support the recommendation of the COA to go deeper into this problem. Let's find out, are there schools gaming the system? Are there schools deliberately submitting fraudulent documents? Are there schools deliberately getting or defrauding government? Let's investigate this further. I know that we need to balance also the process, no? Because there are also maraming honest schools, and baka in the reform that we are going to make, we might penalize the honest schools, no? Here, no. So on the average, before the voucher system gets approximately about 15 to 20 billion pesos. Now we're getting 39 billion in 2023, 26. So it's slowly going up, no? But because of that voucher, because the allocation is going up, some schools are seeing opportunity to secure as many vouchers as possible.
Recording in
What I've
progress.
noticed is instead of becoming a quality objective, it's now becoming a volume objective. Padamihan tayo ng padamihan, which is not the intention of the voucher program. Attorney Tara, you want to
Yes, I want
weigh
to
in on
say-
that?
Yes. Yes, Mr. Chair. Actually, that's right po. When we were created, the gas were created, we included the function of validating through the LIS. That's why po, sir, wala na po tayong double na nakikita na billings because validated with the LIS. You are right po, medyo nung nag-regulate din po tayo nung ganon, marami pong nagreklamo na private schools because they were not paid right away because it's a new process actually, Senator. So that's why it took a while for the gas to validate it with the billing statements with the LIS. That's why private schools were also complaining about the slow payment kasi meron talagang significant din na mga around delay, no, mga weeks of delay also on our part, but we had to do that because this is during the course of that validation, actually, Mr. Chair, may nakita po kami and we are actually currently investigating it. So I cannot provide any further basta pag kung meron man po, Senator, we will provide you with it. It's already with our legal division. So may nakita na po tayo doon just by validating. Hindi pa po kami bumababa like PAYAC because PAYAC also does that monitoring, but just the mere validation of their billing statements with our LIS, meron na po kaming nakita and we are investigating that. Yung volume game, nakita din po namin yan sa gas. We are also checking all other schools na medyo lumaki, tumaas yung kanyang beneficiaries. Pag tumataas na po yan ng around 500 to 1,000, we are double checking actually, Mr. Chair, that even if they were paid previously, we will be investigating them as well. So, yun po, dun po tayo ngayon, Senator.
I want to compel you to reveal the details of your investigation. I know it's ongoing, but I strongly suggest to PAYAC and DepEd, and in line with the COA report, to go deeper into this. I know there are many schools that are participating in this voucher program, but try to test 1, 2, maybe 10 schools. And then later on in a executive session, we can talk about it. No? But my point of the matter here is I don't want to fund the voucher program if we are seeing perverse incentive to come up with volume instead of quality. Again, I support the voucher program. In fact, records will show that we keep on pushing to increase the allocation. But if we are seeing a perverse incentive for schools to just get more students because they are seeing, and lumalaki, we're talking about 26 billion, then I don't want to continue funding that anymore. We will just reduce it to the students that are qualified and schools that are honest and are operating legitimately. But through an executive session, we'll discuss that. But I strongly encourage you to go deeper into this issue and investigate cases of defrauding or cases of submitting fraudulent documents.
I am hopeful, Mr. Chair, that within this year we can have a case filed in court for this specific private school, Mr. Chair. And the DepEd is really on it po when it comes to the investigation and digging deeper on the fraudulent practices of schools. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you for that. Anyone who wants to comment on the voucher program, just I'll leave that topic already. But anyone who wants to comment, hearing none, I want to finish off with another program in GASPE, which is the teacher